please just feel free to type them. We will be able to answer you real time. So in this session, we will primarily talk about how we will develop the HA architecture and how it works in our HA NAS. This pretty much all features we will be covering. So as you already know, we developed this HA NAS, the substitute to the traditional HA clusters. So basically, it's a unified storage that provides the features of the file storage, NFS, AFP, SMB protocols, and at the same time, it provides the features of the block storage, such as iSCSI and fiber channel. And for sure, it is built on the HA architecture where pretty much everything is redundant. So primarily, we for sure offer the 6 nines availability. So it's dual active controllers, redundant everything, fans, power supplies, drives, and also we provide the online hardware upgrades, which is quite unique. Later, I will explain you why and how it works. And also the cache to flash protection in this unit is built in, so the customers will always have an option to enable it, to have it running all the time in case they don't have power supply units or other protection against the power loss. And yes, as I already mentioned, this is a dual active architecture, and all services between the two controllers are always mirrored. But actually, for sure, as pretty much any unified storage on the market today, both controllers are running separately and all the time. And it's pretty much like two NASes running concurrently using the same drives. And for sure, since all these services are synchronized, you get seamless failover. So for example, whenever one controller fails because of the network setup, you will always, all the services still will be remaining online. So we run multiple tests before releasing this product to make sure that it works properly. So yes, indeed, the end user will never face any issues whenever one of the controllers fails. And another great feature which is quite unique in QSAN, because we can do the online hardware upgrades. So we can online upgrade the host cards, RAM, and also later we are planning, if we are upgrading the architecture, we also will be able to upgrade the controllers the same way, but this is in a future plan. But for now, for sure, for example, if customer already purchased our NAS and been using for some time, they can just plug out, we call it plug out plugin. So you just plug out one of the controllers, upgrade the, for example, the host card, upgrade the memory, and plug it back in. And pretty much it's done. And you can proceed to do the same with the second controller, upgrade host card, memory module, and after that you will be able to set it up. For example, if you upgraded it with a fiber channel, just add another fiber channel switch and connect it to the switch, connect it to the hosts, and pretty much you complete the upgrade of the system. Very simple, and I believe it will be very usable to all our partners in future. We provide the advanced memory cache protection. So basically, if initially in most systems data runs through system memory cache and then hits the system pool, now we will provide an option. It's a built-in flash module inside the XCubeNXT. So pretty much it doesn't need any batteries or supercapacitors. So basically, we can run all the cache through another additional flash module. So if there is a power loss, we can make sure that there is no cache lost and we will not have any data corruptions. Another great feature for the optimization of our storage that we include is the hybrid SSD caching. So if before in most of the storages, when you want to use both read and write cache, you would need at least 2 drives. So one drive is used for reads and to another drive is used for writes. So they mirror each other in case one drive failure, all the cache will be alive and available. So basically all this space in our previous technologies, only a little part of the SSDs in write caching was used for write caching. The rest of the SSDs was pretty much useless, and yeah, it was a big issue because a lot of space not utilized. But in a new technology, we were able to combine read and write caching on one SSD. And this technology brings us a big advantages comparing to the previous, because one SSD now can provide pretty much the same level of performance comparing to the previous traditional SSD caching. And together, if we use exactly the same 3 SSDs, we can technically triple the read and write speeds using the SSD caching. Or we can just use less SSDs. For example, instead of 3, we can use 2, and it already will be quite a bit more performance in both read and write, technically doubling the performance. Now let's move next. We also provide a system called ZFS. All our NASes has been built on it, and we are one of few vendors who keep pushing this. And this is called zero crash file system because there are so many leverages and mechanisms, additional mechanisms that provide additional levels of data protection. But one of the most important one is protection against the silent corruption. Silent corruption cases can occur very often, and as you can see here, there is silent corruption, very priceless image when the action already happened in certain games, and it can happen to pretty much any images, any databases, and there are many reasons for this, including like a space radiation, network losses, and power losses. And ZFS can help us to prevent cases like this. And especially now, for example, it's important for the medical solutions. So whenever people come to hospital to get X-ray done, if they lose, if there is silent corruption, they pretty much lose all the high resolution images. They will have to come back to this kind of hostile environment to do it again, which we should try to predict as much as we can. So with ZFS, the great part is we can avoid this. So how ZFS works is whenever there is a file transfer, data transfer, it creates copy on writes. So it's something like separate file tree. So whenever you copy, ZFS creates 2 file trees. And for example, whenever you try to edit the data and there is any network loss, power loss, the file tree that you've been working on will disappear while the main file tree will remain intact. So this is additional layer that ZFS provides comparing to all the traditional file systems. And recently also, since we talk a lot about the bigger scales, storage for bigger scales, because we keep running the cloud backup, right, having much bigger media production cases, also working with different solutions from Veeam and backup providers, medical imaging services. The scale of data often grows a lot over to terabyte or even petabyte scales. And we often hear that customers would need to use the volumes of file sizes with a size over 200 terabytes. And actually, ZFS is a very brilliant system for this because it provides very future-proof scale. So technically, for now, there is no real limit for the ZFS file or volume scale because it scales to 16 exabytes, which is 1 exabyte is 1000 petabytes. So it's huge capacities. And how to reach such capacities, because technically if you build a volume with 1 petabyte, how do you rebuild the RAID in this case? It will take forever and will never rebuild itself, right? So later I will explain you basically how we will scale ZFS. And also in ZFS, you are pretty much not able to scale it using drive by drive. Let's just jump directly to this. So to scale the ZFS, you cannot add one drives to the RAID groups because pretty much it's ZFS limitation because it has VDEV and it doesn't allow you to add drives to the RAID group. But for the consumer level, it's indeed critical because how consumers smaller NASes scale is they want to add one drive. But for the large scale, like 10 terabyte, 100 terabyte scale, it doesn't matter because adding another RAID group, this is how we scale ZFS. We just add another RAID groups. And by doing so, it's much easier and it is indeed much faster. So if you just add another RAID group whenever you scale, you can immediately add it inside the storage pool and you can immediately scale the volume. So there is no extra time to rebuild this RAID group. Also, we will get advanced redundancy because whenever one drive fails in any of the RAID groups, the time to rebuild the RAID will be much faster than if we will have a large storage pool, larger RAID group. Yes, and these are the main advantages of having the large volume and having the RAID groups divided into smaller pieces. And we are about to come to an end of this short presentation. And this is the summary of our QSAN XCubeNXT. So if you are considering to propose it to customers, first of all, what they will receive is a lot of simplicity, smart system, and very high security. So simplicity-wise, we build it on the same platform with our XCube NASes, but with much more advanced algorithm for data storage. So it's very easy to set up and to maintain. Also, we still provide multiple backup options such as rsync, snapshots, xmirror, and previously we had a presentation about each backup options provided by QSAN, like a scheduled backup, real-time backup. They are all included. And if you need presentation for this, please just let me know. And we still provide the client backup licenses. We offer 100 client backup licenses for free with this storage. So this is a very nice feature, and it's still available with the bigger storage products. Regarding the smart, the great part, aside from ZFS, we still include the inline data reduction and inline compression and deduplication. And this is a A-brain feature, and from the smaller storage vendors, QSAN is the only vendor offering this in a real ZFS, in a real dual active controller NAS. So we place it very accurately between the Dell EMC 380, Dell EMC Unity 380 and 480. And in terms of hardware and software, it's very similar. So we believe it will be very helpful for you in multiple projects for unified storage. And for sure, we have intuitive load balancing. So there are many different features. And if you need more information about this, also please let us know. We will send you the information. And regarding the security, for sure, we offer algorithms such as data retention, which is built in accordance with GDPR. And also we have a WARM, right answering many algorithm required by many financial institutions, again, the healthcare institutions, also different big corporations. And for sure, we have advanced level of encryption like AS256 and something more unique, such as self-encrypting drive support. And QSAN is one of few vendors who is excelling in this industry as well. So if you have any questions about this, please let us know. And this was our quick session overview of XCubeNXT HA architecture. If you have any further questions, please let me know. Please send a message to our marketing or to our sales support. We will be glad to answer all of your questions. And also our marketing team will be following up this session with the presentation slides of this webinar. If you have any questions, please let us know. Just type us a message right now. We will be answering. So I will give around 10 minutes more for the question and answer session. Thank you very much.